Good afternoon and welcome to Communication Presentation by 8UPurnell. George Bernard Shaw said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. I believe that communication begins with effective listening. So we will talk a little bit about effective listening, then we will talk about communication, and we will talk about presentation and how to do presentations. So effective listening begins with facing your speaker and maintaining good eye contact. You have to be attentive and be relaxed. You do not want the individual with whom you are communicating to feel that you're defensive or closed off or not listening. You want to be present in the moment when you are communicating. You want to keep an open mind, realizing that we do not always agree, but we can agree to disagree. You want to listen to the communicator in such a manner as to be able to picture or envision what they are communicating to you. You do not want to interrupt or give the appearance that you're waiting for your chance to pounce in and have your time of speaking. You want to wait so that you can get clarifying information, or you want the communicator to know that you have indeed been listening, so you may want to speak some clarifying words. I believe I hear you saying, so that they know that you're actually listening and just not waiting for your chance to speak. You want to make sure that you ask questions if you don't understand what is being presented to you, and try to get an understanding or empathize with what is being communicated to you. When appropriate, give regular feedback to the person that is communicating with you so that they know that you are paying attention, and always allow your nonverbal communication to line up with what you actually want the individual to believe you are saying to them. Now, when you are not in a one-to-one or group setting and you're communicating and listening, you may be presenting as I am presenting today. When you are giving a presentation, you want to ensure that you can maintain your listening audience. You do that by, one, being prepared for the presentation. Whatever subject matter that you present, you should have a good grasp of that subject matter. Today I'm presenting on communication, and I began with effective listening because it is a very vital part of communication. Next, when you are presenting, you want to be prepared. Two, you want to think about the logistics. What will you need to do your presentation? Just recently, I taught a class, and I prepared a PowerPoint for that class. In giving that presentation, I had to ensure that I had a functioning laptop, that I had my flash drive with my information, that I had a projector and a screen, and that I had a podium and microphone. These were the items that I needed for my presentation. However, you also want to make sure that if your technological devices do not function, that you can still give your presentation without those items. Additionally, you want to think about the venue that you will utilize for your presentation. Will it have comfortable seating? Will it have adequate seating? Have you prepared the place for your attendees? Additionally, you want to have knowledge of your audience. That way, your presentation will be geared to those who are attending your program. Now, in the presentation that I had to give, I also embedded a video from YouTube, and in doing so, I had to be sure that there was internet access in the venue so that those who were attending would be able to experience the information and presentation from that video. In addition, after you have covered some portion of your presentation, I like to summarize as I go along. That way, those who are listening will be able to better grasp and retain what I am presenting. So thus far, we have discussed effective listening. We've discussed the fact that you should pay attention to the person listening to you. You should be attentive. Your nonverbal cues should not be closed off. You should use clarifying statements and ask questions when you don't understand. We've also discussed in giving a presentation that preparation is very significant, that you should have a good grasp of your subject matter. You should pay attention to your venue, know your audience, and that you should have all of the necessary items that will be needed for your presentation. So, in continuing with communication, so you want to make sure that when you are presenting your information to your audience, that they feel like the information has been individualized to them, that you're not just talking to a big group of people, but that each and every attendee is significant. So when you communicate, when you disperse your information in your presentation, that it would feel like you are opening up this vast arsenal of information to every single person in your presentation or seminar. Additionally, you want to make sure that you are honest in your material that is presented. You do not want to be, like the Indians say, one that speaks with a forked tongue. So be transparent, be truthful, and have integrity in your presentations. You can take time to get a little personal, but don't get too personal. Be specific with your information. You want to give concise and specific information. You want to remember the audience. Don't give such basic information that it offends your audience, or such technical information that you confuse and lose everyone. You want to give information and a presentation that is suited for the audience that you are presenting to. Now, you also want to make sure that your presentation is politically correct. You want to make sure that your content will not be offensive to anyone who is listening. So be very careful of the content of your presentation. Focus on the people who kind of seem like they're being left behind. You may want to be interactive during your presentation with your audience to try and engage those that you may be appearing to lose during your presentation. Again, listen, listen, listen. And don't allow your ego to take over. You want to be very humble during your presentation. You want to make sure that you're articulate when you are presenting, and that you keep in mind that you are here to deliver information. So that is the gist of my presentation on communication. Again, remember, communication begins with effective listening. When you are presenting on any subject matter, communication, marriage, love, the arts, you want to make sure that you have a good grasp on your subject matter. You want to make sure that you have taken time to consider your venue and the number of attendees. You want to make sure that you've thought out the logistics of your presentation, that you have all the materials that you will need. And if you're using technological devices, you want to make sure that you are able to present even if your technological devices are not functioning. And to close, any problem, big or small, always seems to start with bad communication. That was Emma Thompson. So make sure you listen effectively and you communicate clearly. This has been 8UPurnell, an oral presentation on effective communication. Thank you.